How about that? Can you hear me meow? I've been rambling on this whole time, didn't turn the microphone on. Yeah. Yeah. As I said, it's not my best of days. So I was gonna go and do some work out in the garage today. I actually went out there for about 20 minutes in the shop, was doing some work, and I wasn't feeling it. And I looked over, and ye old shop dog, she was giving me this look from inside. She's like, "Nope, I'm not even coming out there. That's all you, Dad. I'm just sitting here where it's a little bit warmer and watch you work." And I think she encapsulated my entire feeling for the day, as I'm still under the weather and whatnot. So, shop dog won, and we gave up on working in the shop today and came back inside. Let's see here. There we go. She always knows how to put things in perspective. So what I was working on is I've got this new job site saw. I actually got a couple of them in the shop. But what I didn't get was a stand for them. And I don't have a workbench I can use them on, because if you get this thing, you put it up on a workbench, it's pretty high up there, and that's just not a good setup for trying to work with a circular saw. So was sitting there. Jeez, sorry about that. Where's my animation? I know I left it around here somewhere. There it is. Kitchen Year back got a lot done today. Must be nice. I didn't get much of nothing done today. Here's what I did get done. I made it out of the house and I went to Lowe's. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few weeks ago I was talking about the fact that those Rockwell jaw horses were being closed out. They're on clearance sale. And nice snow coverage on the video. That was nothing compared to what was on my truck. So that was slightly sheltered by the house, and it still got that much snow on it. So anyway, I picked up one of those jaw horses. They're on sale now, and I've been wanting to get one. I actually had never gotten my hands on one, so this was my first try doing that. And I gotta say, they are a tad bit heavier than I was expecting. I'm not saying they're so heavy that they're unusable, but they look like they would be pretty lightweight, and they're not. Hold on here. I'm going to adjust the chat there so I can see everything. There we go. Yeah. All right. There we go. Glad to see the polar bear. Yeah, Red. He's a lightweight when it comes to this snow, so old brother Blue here had to step in and handle things. And so anyway, excuse me, cannot stop. Come on, there we go. So anyway, I picked up one of these jaw horse thingamajiggies. The basic 35-inch one. It's the one that's on clearance right now. I think it's like $70 or something. I had this idea to use it as a stand for these job site saws. It seemed like a nice little solution. You can lock it in there. You can take it out. You can use it for other things besides the saw. So I get it out, and they even have a great little, there's a wheel on one end, so you can like put one of the legs up and use it as a handle, a la like a luggage cart kind of thing. But I get it home, I set it up, I put the saw up on it, start to lock it in place, and I realize it's as tall, or almost as tall as my bench. So with the saw on it, it's way too high. Now, I could use it. I it's not perfect, but I could get away with using it. But I'm taller than the average bear, so for most people, this is going to be a no can do. So as far as a solution there for a job site saw, it ain't going to work. Now, I got an idea for this. It's not nearly as clever as the other idea, but let me see if I can pull it up here. But I'm liking it as a concept. Let's see here. Go over to Ye Olde Harbor Freight, and see, because believe it or not, Harbor Freight does not sell a circular saw stand for a job site. They have everything else. Thousands of items. They don't have that. I was stunned. So let's see here. What are we looking for? Where's that cart? Yep, this is the one. All right, let's see if I can. Is this in? That's it. So I got one of these in the shop, and that's what I had it sitting on at first, but it's a little it's too wide in either directions. If you set it on sideways, which is the way it should go, the feet on the front and the feet on the back can only half sit on the cart. So it's not quite big enough. So I'm gonna make a little. My idea is to make a little thing that bolts to the bottom of the saw. That's got two rails on either side, so it kind of locks onto the cart. So you can like put it on the cart, have it lock in place, but you can still use it on other things as well. And I'm hoping that will be the solution that I need here. And the nice thing about it is with the cart, you can adjust the height. So it's mostly stable. The front two wheels don't lock. The back two wheels do. The one thing I don't like about these carts is that the front wheels are non-removable. Okay, without a grinder or recip saw and a welder, they're non-removable. And what I'd really like to do is put 4 locking swivels on this thing rather than 2. But it is what it is. So I'd really like to do is try and get like some smaller wheels on it. In fact, if I could like put them on little winged casters off to the side and get that cart a little bit lower. It's to be honest, for $130, you can see the coupon price on it. I've been meaning to do a video on these carts. I'm a huge fan. Just huge fan of these carts. They do a great job, and I use them all the time. Unloading stuff out of the back of the truck. I can slide stuff out of the truck on the cart, bring it in, lower it down, lever it over. So it makes things a lot more usable here. There we go. So just checking the chat, making sure I didn't miss anything. I have a tendency to like accidentally bump the chat window with the mouse, and that locks it in place so that it doesn't auto scroll when somebody comments. Y'all sleep in there? Then knock on the screen. I know I'm not sounding the most animated that I normally am. I'm out of my cough syrup. And by cough syrup, I mean wild turkey. You guys, any of you remember watching the Beverly Hillbillies back in the day? Granny used to have her medicine to cure what ails you, and she talked about how you take you drink this all day, and a week later you'd get better again. It was her cure for the common cold. Hold on. The missus is giving me the eyeball like she needs to tell me something. No. I wish I could show you a picture of what she's wearing today.
It's fantastic.
She is a fashionista. She's got... What are they? They're like yoga. They're not yoga pants per se. They're like athletic workout pants. She went to the gym, so... and then she's got athletic socks over that. She's got her cross trainers on. She's got a zip-up hoodie with, I think, 3 or 4 shirts on underneath. And she's got this hat that there are no words for. It's like a purple knitted ski cap, but it's got a brim that's a gold... I don't know what you call that. So some sort of gold fabric with a fuzzy brim on it, and it's got matching ears, like little bear ears.
It's fantastic.
And you got sunglasses on your hat.
Of course.
And we're indoors.
Yes.
Okay. Feels like that scene from the Blues Brothers. Let's see here. What we got here? Canuck Blues. Yeah. I'm not much one for Canadian whiskey, to be honest. I don't like the blended stuff. Jane Fonda.
Find my outfit.
Oh. Bunny McIntyre's in the house. How you doing, Bunny?
Hey, Bunny.
Oh, you don't don't text. She's driving from Southern California. Winter storm and rain. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I was looking on the radar. Thank you so much. Hugs back to you. Yeah, don't argue with the she-bear. You will lose. Yeah, you know. What they say. Argue with the wife. You might get stabbed. Hello, Labradog. She brought me her duck. You want the duck? You want Daddy to throw the duck? What do you say? She's giving me this little half snarl kind of look. She won't bark usually. She's a very quiet dog unless somebody comes to the door. Then she acts like the most vicious Rottweiler type dog in the world. Oops.
She's full of grace.
No, that was me. I think I knocked something off one of the tables. Throwing her duck for her. Yeah, she's a... Did you see the picture of the shop dog picture I had earlier? Where she's just sitting there in the doorway looking at me like, nope, I'm not coming out there.
My beautiful hat can be seen on last night's.
It's too cold. Oh, on the Geek Health?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to see the miss, you can. If you want to see the missus in her wonderful hat, you have to check out our other channel, Geek Health, our fitness stuff. She's been posting more than I have over there, but you can see all her fashionista glory over there. Oh, that was her head. Oh yeah, who's a vicious dog? Come here, come here, come here. Give me the duck. I didn't throw it yet, dingbat.
She's like, but I'm...
She's very eager.
Really excited.
Oh, let's see here. What else? I was going to talk about tools. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I'm really fixated on these. I can't click on that window. I have to go over to this window. On these jaw horse things. I realized they only have 3 feet. And I was kind of questioning how stable something with 3 feet can really be, right? Because, I mean, it's not 4, right? But the reality is, in physics, everything's based off a triangle. Hold on here. I moved to my seat. Now there we go. All right. So anyway, everything's based off of triangles. So the key, in fact, in many circumstances, a 4-legged beast is, well, when I say beast, I mean a table and stuff, is much harder to balance accurately than a 3-leg. That's why a lot of these, like miter saw stands, you'll see the 4th leg is actually adjustable. So it can compensate for that wobble. That's not needed with 3 legs because 3 legs automatically compensates. You don't have that. A 4th leg adds an extra side to the triangle that isn't technically needed. Now, as to whether, how to use it properly. My idea is to set it up in such a way that the two legs are actually at the back of the saw and the single legs at the front, thus giving you, because you're pushing towards the saw, and that would give you most of the stability at the back of the saw where you would need it the most. Anyway, I don't know if you guys have seen these things, but there's a whole bunch of I don't know, mods, accessories, add-ons, and such that you can get for these different types of jaw horses out there. Apparently, and there's quite a few. Triton makes one. Rigid makes one. Rockwell, of course, is the most famous one. I hear there's another company coming out with their own version of the jaw horse. It's something like, what is it? It's 2 words. Like Barber Mate or something like that. Anyway, they're coming out with one too. This is a good comparison. I remember way back when the Black & Decker Workmate came out, and they made a huge. Everyone went nuts over this thing. Oh, you can clamp on the same table, and you can do all this other stuff. It's amazing. And it was really cool, but they were stupidly expensive. Oops, sorry, I bumped the chat window. They were stupidly expensive back in the day, and they've gotten cheaper, but they're not like stupid cheap now. But the different versions out there, and there's so with these things you can extend the jaw, the clamping part out, and then you can also flip it around to get an extended thing. OMG, Vampire Bear Run. What the? Oh, the teeth. It's a polar bear. How do you think we get those seals and those tasty treats inside the igloos? Oh, those things are delicious. Anyway, so like they got this one here where you can hang your little tools and stuff off the back. That's cute and all, but I've been getting these just spam phone calls today, like nobody's business. This is the one I wanted to show you. So this one right here, he looks dead. He's a polar bear. I'm not supposed to have any color. Whatchamacallit. So this is their idea of, and part of me is like, yeah, that's kind of cool. The other part of me is like, I don't know. So their idea is this is a miter saw stand for a jaw horse. So you take this and it clamps to a 2x4. You put it in this clamping mechanism, and you got the rollers out here that extend out, that clamp onto the 2x4. They have risers and whatnot. And then you have this table here that clamps to this. And a lot of people were freaking out saying that this thing's not safe. In fact, it's not even for sale on Amazon right now. I wonder if they took it off the market out of safety concerns. And I could see if you've got a really big, like if I had my Hercules strapped on there, that may not be the best solution. But like if you are doing like a lightweight, like say you got one of those, the battery operated or hybrid, the smaller, the 7.5 inch sliding miter saws on a job site, this could be a great setup because you can have other uses for a jaw horse, and for a miter saw stand, it's pretty much just a miter saw stand. Topher says, you bought the Hercules bag today. It is a nice bag, isn't it? It's got that, I always think of it as, I don't know if it's a name brand or if it's just the type of bag, but called a gator bag or gator mouth, where the mouth of the bag has a frame in it. So when you open it up, the bag stays open. You don't have to worry about the bag collapsing on yourself. And I know it's a small thing, but like when I open up the tools like from DeWalt and stuff, I'm always disappointed in the quality of the bags that they put in the tool. Here they are selling a premium product, charging a premium price, and they're giving you budget accessories. It doesn't make any sense. He gave blood today. Well, you know, I do have a rare blood type, Seal B positive, so He's also he's short also. Hey, speaking of short, all right. Somebody had asked last night, and that was kind of funny, if the bear has pants on. Just for you guys, a Den exclusive. You ready? Oh, look at this. Wait a minute. Whoop, too close. There we go. There's the bear. With pants and flip-flops, huh? There. How's that look? Weird, huh? Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, like that. Woohoo! I can lean forward and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, there you go. He's a golfer. Now, I eat golfers. But, yeah, no, I gave up golfing years ago. It's a fun sport if you're any good at it, which I'm not. Let's see if I can find some of the other. There was there's another clamp accessory you can get. Sorry, there's another accessory you can get for if you're going to do welding. It puts like teeth on the clamp so you can. Here it is, right here. That's the one. Oh, Nacho Dad's Garage, $2. Woohoo! See, I can do it with gusto today because the Cubs aren't asleep right now. Yeah. Oh my gosh! I riled up the Labradog. Go on. Why shoot something you can't eat? Go on, go find a cub to play with. Go on, go get him. Go get Griff. He'll throw the duck for you. Oh my gosh. Dog's a titled needy little bugger. This is also something cool about the jaw horses. Is they have a little wheel mechanism down there because these things are hefty. Well, I can't stop with the yawning today. Maybe need to get me some snacks, get my energy back. Need to go down to Jimbo's Fried Eskimo Hut. Let's see what else they do. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I never thought about that. That's a great idea. If you're trying to restring a bow, that's a lot of pressure to put in there. So, oh, hey, look at this. Someone has exclusive tools coming out. And there's their version of a jaw horse. I wonder who that could be. Well, that sounded good.
I think Griffin.
The youngest and the Labradog were playing Chase the Duck in the living room, and I think something bit it. What do we have to buy new? Better not have been my TV. Y'all still have snow? Oh, sorry. I know. I was talking about snow here, and I've got it all covered up with jaw horses and whatnot. There we go. It is still coming down. The snow is a lot finer right now. It stopped for most of the day, and it. In fact, if you guys on your mobile device, the YouTube now has something called Stories. It's like on Instagram with their, quick, short little video tidbits. It doesn't show up in the regular feed. I think it only shows up as a tab on the channel homepage on mobile. I looked on the regular page and I didn't see it. But Oh my gosh, I can't stop with the yawning. And they no thud, no yip, no foul. Oh, there was a foul. And I drove up to just up the street, and we checked last night. We were talking about this, and I looked in the elevation, and we are the airport, which is like right on the strip, is at 2,200 feet elevation, and where we are here on West Vegas, we're at 3,000 feet. So we're 800 feet above them, and I drove up the street, which is probably another 200 feet. So a full 1,000 feet above the airport. And people were sledding up there in the mountains, which are normally not covered. Usually in the winter, you can see snow on the range behind the range that surrounds Vegas. So that's like where Mount Charleston and stuff is. So the stuff that's right near town usually stays dry. And it's, as you can see, it's down, into the city. So it's, get a snow shovel review. Oh my gosh. So it had to be 20 years ago. I'm living in San Francisco. And, oh my gosh, I need some caffeine. I'm going to start freebasing this Diet Pepsi. I'm in San Francisco, and I go to a friend's house for an evening get-together. Basically, drinking and playing Munchkin, for those of you who know what Munchkin is. And I get out of the car. It's like midnight, and we've had like a snowfall that not even nearly, like about half, maybe not even half of what this is, just enough that has barely covered the sidewalks with a slight dusting, and it's going to melt in 30 minutes. And which is like an epic snowfall for San Francisco. And this old guy across the street is out there with a full-size snow shovel that was probably built in the 40s, scraping it along the pavement. Just this at midnight, mind you. And I look at him, and I just stop. I'm like, really? You're really doing this? And he just looked at me, didn't say a word. And I'm like, I bet you had that snow shovel since you moved here. You wouldn't get rid of it, and your wife's been on you. And you're like, I'll need it one day, Martha. You'll see. And you got the first dusting of a snowstorm, and you're out of here shoveling, right? He just waves at me and grumbles something and goes back to scraping his sidewalk. Anyway. How do I like the Jeep? Thinking of buying a 2018 Grand Cherokee. Well, we got that's a Renegade. It's the smallest of the small ones. It's actually made by Fiat. And so comparing it to a Cherokee is like comparing a bulldog to a Rottweiler. It's not even in the same weight class. My wife loves it. I don't know, sweetie. What do you think of it?
Of the Jeep?
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, let me put it to you this way: they've got pretty good trade-in value, and we got such a screaming deal on it that we got equity in the vehicle. And I had this thought that what we should do is we should go and trade it in and buy an actual Wrangler. The four-door Wranglers are too expensive for us to justify as a second vehicle. But the two-door ones, considering this is just really for the wife, and the Cubs, they're young and spry. They can hop up and climb in the back seat. There's no reason that she needs a four-door. And they're just as big. So, they're almost as big. So I was thinking, well, maybe what we should do is get ourselves the actual Jeep. And that way it'd be a little bit bigger. I'd have a little bit more room in it. And I broached that to her, and she about harpooned me. So she's a little attached to her Jeep. She really likes it. She loves the color. She loves the fact that it's the Trailhawk version. Last night she sent me a text message showing me that she had it in snow setting and was very pleased with herself. And she was, cruising along over to the gym to get her workout in. She's very dedicated with going to the gym. I'm very envious of her. My time management with work and stuff has just not been, that great. But anyway, we love it. I would like to get an actual Wrangler. But to be honest, the Wranglers, how do I put this nicely? They're not known for their dependability. And I don't know if this Fiat is either, really, to be entirely honest. But we've got the full warranty and everything else on it. And the reality is, this was owned by some billionaire rancher up in Montana, where we spend our summers. And we were up there. I went up. Here's what happened. I wanted to buy a Kawasaki side-by-side. And then the conversation escalated into a UTV 6-seater. And then, yeah. My wife's over here making that, playing her tiny fiddle of, what do you call it? Violin of, oh, woe is you. And so anyway, I was going to get the side-by-side, and then I was going to get the 6-seater so we could all fit in it. And, we were looking at the price, and she's like, well, I could just buy a Jeep for that price. And I said, well, let's look at the Jeeps, because I wanted to get the 4-door Wrangler. And while we're there, we see the little Jeep Renegade. She's like, I need a new car, because our second car was getting a little long in the tooth. And I'm like, yeah, but we can look at them. And anyway, there's this billionaire rancher. He's actually not a... Okay, I don't want to say it like this. I'm not going to say he's not a rancher, but that's not where he made his money. He lives in Germany full time, and he's an industrialist, money manager type, moving dollars around, making billions of dollars doing that. And he has a hobby ranch in Montana that's something like 20,000 acres or something like that. It's massive. And he is really enamored with Mopar products. And like he bought a Dodge Hellcat. He bought two of them. He bought one for here, and the other one he shipped to his house in Germany. Then he bought the Dodge Demon. He has one here, and he had one shipped to Germany. He's got like 3 or 4 of the Jeep Renegades all completely done up, and he's got a bunch of the Ram like dually pickup trucks. And whenever he buys one, he buys at least 2 of them. He keeps one here. He ships one to Germany. And anyway, his daughter, who he dotes on, her best friend decided that she wanted to come to the States to study overseas for a year. So she came over, and she was going to need a vehicle, so she was trying to figure out what to get. He's like, don't worry about it, I'll just get something for you. So he bought her a brand new Jeep Renegade with everything on it. Just basically, give me the top of the line. He bought that, and he bought an extra set of tires. So it has the basic set of tires. It's got the winter tires with rims for both. So 8 tires, 8 rims. And she drove it for 1 year, went back to Germany, and then it sat and was used as, a guest vehicle at the lodge on his ranch. And he decided he wanted to sell it, so the dealership just said, well, we'll help you sell it, because he buys, so many vehicles from them that they would just do it as a quick consignment sale for him. And we got it so cheap. I almost didn't buy it because I thought there must be something wrong with it. But the reality is he just wanted to get rid of it. So we got the Jeep. It's a 2015. We bought it last year in 2018. And it had, I think, almost 12,000 miles on it. It's got over 12 now. Had almost 12,000 miles on it. And it had, both sets of tires and wheels and leather and everything in it, and the Trailhawk edition and whatnot. So the wife was, so my side-by-side became the wife's Jeep. And I'm not bitter at all. At all. Just a little bitter, tiny bit. Anyway, that's how I ended up with that thing parked in my driveway. Oh, let's see here. Snow level is it's really fine snow at this time. You can't even see it. What's up, little bear? You want to say hi? Come over here. Come closer. This is the little bear,
Hi.
Griff. Gotta speak up right here.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, it's just animation right now, so they can't see you on camera. But anyway, the little bear is here. All right.
It has like a
Hold
target
on.
on
Hold
it.
on.
That was him.
Let me see if I can do this. Hey Gary, how's it going? Oh, I don't know how to do it. I was gonna try and add him in, but I'm not sure how to do it. Gary says hi. And then Bruce says hi, Cubby. You the cub?
Yes, I am the cub.
You're one of the cubs. Mwah. That's a good little bear. How's your leg feeling?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I told you it was just a little thing that would go away, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably just slept funny on it. He's the one who has juvenile arthritis, and it flares up in his knees. So his knees started hurting the other day, and he got a little worried that maybe he was going to have a flare up. But it's all better now, isn't it?
Yep.
You out playing in the snow with your sister?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a snowstorm yesterday.
It was a snowstorm yesterday. White Pop says hi, bear. Hi, cub. Yeah. See, look, I can make the bear say hi. Here, let's see if I can do this. This is all the weird animations. Watch this one. This will freak you out.
No.
Daddy's silly.
Yeah.
Okay. The little cub has to go do his cub homework.
He could also clean up his little cub den upstairs too if he wanted.
Hey, no.
Cub den's actually looking pretty good.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember it looking that
Come
good,
on.
but
Little monkey.
what do I know? All right. So anyway, we were talking. Before that, we were talking tools. We're talking about the jaw horses. Y Pop says, "I feel for him. I've had it since child. You had arthritis since you were a child. That's horrible. It is. I'm really sorry to hear that. It is not a fun thing. He actually ended up in the hospital last year, right after Christmas, and he was in the hospital, I think, for 3 days, as they were trying to figure, because he hadn't yet been diagnosed, and trying to figure out what it was. Bunny McIntyre says, "Oh, little bear, Bunny, thank you so much, but I hope you're not driving. Don't have to smack you on the paw for texting and driving." Am I still planning on doing reviews on Carlisle tools from Napa? I do want to do some stuff on Napa, but that's probably going to have to wait till this summer. My review schedule is pretty booked right now, and I don't think I'm going to get around it. And honestly, I don't even know where a Napa is around here. Looks like you don't have any problems with eating ice cream cone there. Yeah, no doubt, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oops, right. Uh-huh. Stay safe. Do you know how to do Bunny, do you know how to do the text to talk? That's what I do when I'm driving. Although it's pretty good, but probably like 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 words is completely wrong. So you just have to hope the other person can translate. Anyway, just adjust myself here. I think what other tools things do we have going on? Now, I still need to review the 12-volt drill drivers. I did the impacts. I need to do a full comparison on the drill drivers. And we did the wet tile saw. Guys don't know if you guys saw. Harbor Freight came out with an email thing on the new Diamondback saw, and Dennett Tools was featured in the video on that. So that was a nice little shout out from them. Chris, oh, was it Cracker? It took me a second to figure out what you meant. Her voice to text can be hilarious. There was some skit that somebody did where they were trying to show the voice to text recognition for Southerners. It can be right down pain. Well, that was more of a Tennessee twang, but let's see here. What was that? We got the Oh, that's the Labradog. Chastising me for being out in the shop. See if there's any other cool mods here we could find for the Jaw Horse. That's cute. Somebody built their own. Y'all kind of got to read between the lines there. My wife was reading some post from Facebook the other day about y'all is singular. Something about how to speak Missouri. Y'all singular. Y'all's is plural. Y'all's is plural possessive. I'm like, yeah, I've been there. I spent some time in Kentucky, and I got a good friend who's from Georgia. He's from northern Georgia though, up near Auburn. He's down in Florida, laughing at me for being in the snow. See what else we got here. Here's an interesting setup. So they put the job site between two sawhorses. I like this one. Using the, I've seen a couple people who've set up little mods to use the Jaw Horse as a shooting bench. Now I might have to do that. I used to like to do the combat pistol shooting kind of stuff. I taught CCW classes and 3-gun kind of stuff. But with my knees, they're not getting any better. But I might have to move over to the more sedentary shooting sports. Wolfie's headed off for dinner. Go have some treats for us. I'm getting a little hungry myself. Okay. I gotta say something about this. So, every Jaw Horse ad I've seen shows this dude doing this about it can clamp a door at these weird angles and it will hold it perfectly. And the guys over at VCG, they're fun-loving guys, so they tried it. And sure enough, it did it. And they had it set up just like this, a full solid core door. Big heavy sucker. And they had it set up and it worked great. But my question is, who does that? Why would you clamp it at that angle? It just to plane or belt sand that edge? You couldn't clamp it in a nice even keel to do it? It just doesn't make any sense. Mongoose on a tripod. Remember, you shouldn't let kids use handguns. They're too unwieldy. Now, the crew service weapons with their tripod mounts, much easier for them to use. Let's see here. What else we got here? I thought for sure that there'd be a bunch of people making all sorts of mods for these things. Because there's definitely all sorts of potential uses for them. And I'm kind of surprised there's not more people making jigs and stuff to use with these Jaw Horses. They make this little bucket thing to go on the back. It's got a little recess so it hangs down on either side, stays nice and level. So as you open this thing up, you've got a place to put some tools and stuff. And this one over here, this little bag, which is cute and all, but that's not really a mod, and that's not, I don't know. I'd probably just end up knocking that thing over if I had that set up like that. Now, what's he got here? That's an interesting setup. I don't know exactly how he has that clamped in there. Now, they make a bigger one. The easy way to tell if it's the bigger jaw horse, the one that they extend out the full 48 inches to do a full size piece of plywood sideways, is on the third foot. It has that little stirrup shaped footing on it. The other ones on the two front feet, it's got the stirrup shaped foot, but the tripod, the third leg, is just a single leg. They're all single, but it comes down to just a single point rather than the stirrup foot also. The nice thing about this also is when you put it into wheeled mode for dragging it along, instead of just having to hold that stick of a leg, you've got like a handle there you can hold on to. Yeah, he's using it for that. That's the hand. That's that little bag again. Come on. There's got to be some better things than this. Well, I'm a little disappointed in the jaw stuff here. Hey, what do you guys think about this tool? Have you seen it? The Rockwell Blade Runner. Blade Slicer 5000. All right. It's if I have problems, I don't have problems. My son has been diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, so I don't myself have any issues with it. Kentucky Fins Chaser. I hope that means you're like a bass fisher, because I'm not sure what else it might mean. Hey, he says, hey Bear, new subscriber, love the videos. I love the videos too. What part of Kentucky are you in? I used to live over in northern Kentucky, in the Cincinnati, Kentucky area. I love Kentucky. It's a great state. All fishing. Yeah, there's a lot of good fishing down there. Yeah. But anyway, I was asking if you guys had taken a look at the Blade Runner. It's near Lexington. Lexington, that's a beautiful city. All the horse farms and stuff around there. But anyway, this Blade Runner, it's what we used to call a saber saw. And I don't know of any major tool company these days that sells a saber saw. Maybe you guys know of one that I've forgotten about. New Hampshire in the house. I bet it's cold and chilly and snowy up there. But so I've been wanting to get another 14-inch bandsaw, and the thing is, I don't do a lot of veneers kind of stuff, which is a big thing that people use that size bandsaw for. But I do a lot of stuff where I just need to make a quick little detail cut when I'm working on some prototype kind of stuff, and I'm like, I just want to cut something, and I want to move quick. I want to, keep up with, where my headspace is at. And I've been looking at these thinking, this might be the solution, the way I need to go. Because, you could take a jigsaw and mount it upside down or something. I could clamp it in the jaw horse and do that. Because, that's essentially what it is. But it's got that nice little guide, the track up top that puts some support behind the blade and help keeps it in place. Here's the side view on what this thing looks like. Whoop, come on. What'd you do there? I'm clicking right on this image. Well, there's a side view image of, you can see what it looks like. That's weird. Why that image isn't working. But anyway, that's the side view on it. Front view. Well, that's a different version. Huh. I guess those must be for some sort of fence or guide on the side. When can you expect the new air compressor comparison video? Also thoughts to insulate reduced dB levels while maintaining adequate airflow. Well, I can tell you that I looked long and hard in the insulate and adequate airflow level, and the only real solution I came up with is either putting it outside your shop or setting it up in a box that has airflow that goes outside the shop. Otherwise, you're really, even with the best, there's baffle systems you can do, but you're either going to be giving up sound deadening for airflow or giving up life of the compressor due to heat in order to reduce sound. It's a compromise situation. You can't have both. The only way to do it is like to do a pass through, like put it in a box against your outside wall of your garage and then drill a hole with a vent system going outdoors. That's probably your best solution. Unless you can actually build a shed on the outside of your garage and then just do airline pass through the wall to the inside, that's an even better solution. As to when the videos will be out, so I ordered an actual decibel meter, and I ordered it off of eBay, and they said it was supposed to ship within a couple days, but I just checked the shipping on it, and even though they say it should be here today or tomorrow, the shipping FedEx on it is saying Tuesday. So it's going to be next week because I'm holding off doing any videos on them until I have an honest to goodness decibel meter in paw, as it were. Finster Maker. I have that, but basically Jigsaw. Yeah, an upside down Jigsaw. That's exactly what it is. But as I said, it looks like a great solution for being able to make hands-free using, so you have both your hands or both your paws in my case, working on the workpiece, controlling it to make quick, accurate cuts. But I don't know, maybe I'll try see if I can set up a jig there with the old jaw horse to do something similar. See what else we got here. Jaw horse was workmate. Yeah, it just... Now, what is this? This looks interesting. Oh, it's off of Alibaba. We know we're going to have some fun there. Harbor Freight, I have the Harbor Freight bandsaw, and I built a little box for it to use it in a vertical saw configuration for just that reason. And now I can't find the box. It got lost in shipping somewhere, or not shipping, in transit when we moved. So it's around somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. So let's see, Alibaba, come on. Where'd you go? Dun, dun, dun. Man, I love sometimes just going through Alibaba just to see what kind of junk they have. I will never understand these benches. It's like, look, now you can just buy the wood and drill it into these things and have a pre-made bench. Why I couldn't just use a 2x4 for that, I have no idea. The 12-inch, like the metal cutting one, that's vertical and horizontal. Did you bring the snow when you came to visit? Yeah. Hold on, let me show you. I made this picture for where'd it go? There we go. That's kind of summarized in one feeling how I felt today. I tried to escape winter, and it's like, oh really? You think you can get away from me that easily? So like, I don't think so. There we go. The 12-inch bandsaw from Harbor Freight. Yeah, if I use 2x4s, they don't make money. That's a good point. Well, I followed this link specifically because they were showing that tool that looked very interesting. And when I go to the link, they have everything but that work. Oh, there it is. Just as I said, see, all I need. This is very interesting. Let's see. Hold on, where's the chat window? I'm gonna close the chat window. You can still chat on the side. I just have it out of the way. Look at this. They always love to show you their factory and how big, and they think this impresses us. They're like, look at this big factory. We're a real factory, and look at all this stuff we make. And I look at this and I think, so you've rented a shop somewhere and you're making stuff in a little workroom. You know, apparently they've never seen what American factories look like. So, wait, there, we just passed it. Right there. So look at this. This is a jaw horse with a mod to put miter saw style mounting brackets on it. That is pretty cool. I wonder if you could do that to a regular jaw horse. Because this is obviously right here, if not a regular jaw horse. Oh no, I take it back. If you look at this, this is it's a miter saw stand that they've added a jaw horse clamp to. Because this is a regular 4-legged miter saw stand. Man, Alibaba has... If you like to geek out on tools that you probably will never see in your life, Alibaba is the place. Stop shuffling the image. All right. So this is though an actual jaw horse style. See, there's the locking button, and there's the step. It's got regular flat feet, kind of like the rigid one. And so the jaw is closed, and then they've got this type of mounting bracket clamp on it that allows you to... Oh, look, they make lots of them. That's good to know. Yep, it clamps. More of their workroom. They're very high-tech factory. Got to have the high-tech factory images. So that's their miter saw stand. This is kind of cute. They've got a power outlet built into the miter saw stand. That would be an interesting mod to set up. Accordion. There's your lifting stuff. That's like two different types of miter saw stands in one. There's your planer. Whoops, skipped over some stuff. Wait a minute, what happened here? Come on. Anyway, I'm intrigued by that. Intrigued, I say. Welcome to Vegas. I'm really sorry. I do feel like I brought winter with me to Vegas. Like I taunted it. Like, you can't catch me now. And Winter's like, holding my beer. Oh, sorry, 9-inch. See, yeah, that's... try to tell me that Harbor Freight's got a 12-inch miter saw. Or what do you call it? See, I'm losing my mind. Bandsaw. Oh, the Harbor Freight, the 9-inch thing. That thing, I've used those. I had the PowerTech one. They're all essentially the same. I've looked at a bunch of them. They're all identical. And they're all, I think, identically worthless. There's not enough support to the blade, and the deflection is really, really bad on them. And I think, for for something like that, I think you're better off going with something like that scroll saw kind of setup, the saber saw thing. It's too bad. Yeah, I've not been. I had one. I sold it, and I found that between my scroll saw for the really fine detail cuts and my 14-inch bandsaw, which was a lot more flexible, that I could, it's just if you don't have the money and that's the only way you can go, I guess that's one way to do it. Here, let me show you what we're talking about here. How do I do this? I put it over here. There we go. That's the saw he was asking about. I heard someone say, a tool guy from way back in the day, that basically his view was, if you're going to get a bandsaw, the smallest you can get is 14 inches. And that anything less than 14 inches isn't going to really be able to be used the way a bandsaw should be used. And I'll be honest, if you've got a 14-inch bandsaw and you've got a decent workbench and a track saw, you don't need a table saw. It's a 14-inch bandsaw, a well-made one with cast iron wheels and a good sized table and a fence and everything. You can do between that and a circular saw, a track saw. There's just no reason that you have to have a table saw. Table saws are nice, but I honestly found in my old shop that it was one of my least used pieces of stationary equipment. And that, other than for doing long rip cuts, that's the thing I would use. Because even on short rip cuts, on a short, easy rip cut, I would find I would actually use my sliding miter saw more. A 12-inch sliding miter saw on anything up to 18 inches, why bother with trying to feed that through a table saw that has potential kickback issues when you could just pop it on the miter saw and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, you're done. So, Gary's taking off, going to start supper for the missus. Oh.
He's cooking for me? That's amazing.
Yeah, Mrs. Bear thinks it's very sweet that you're cooking for her. She wants you to know that she's eating a high protein diet these days, so veggies and protein, so stay away from the carbs for her. Speaking of which, what are we doing for dinner? Seal and Eskimo?
No, you're going to have mashed potatoes, corn, and pork chops.
I had that yesterday.
Perhaps.
Oh. Yummy. You should, go to the store or something, and I won't order pizza while you're gone. Promise. Gary says he's retired and he cooks all of the meals.
Aw, that's so sweet.
That is sweet. I'm not allowed in the kitchen. I get yelled at if I set foot in there. Little Bear said, because you steal things. I don't know what you're talking about. I would just like to point out that I found that little thing with the Harry and David stuff in it. Little round box. It's got chocolate covered almonds or something in it. Is that what they are?
Nope.
What are they?
They're chocolate covered, not your business.
Yeah. And they're still there. Most of them. As far as you know.
Well, I know you didn't try them if you just said almonds. That's not what's in them.
What's in them?
Cherries.
Oh, well, then I'm not going to eat them. I was afraid they were cherries. Doug says my wife doesn't know how to cook. When I first met my missus, I like to say the only thing she knew how to make was reservations, but that would be a lie because she didn't even know how to do that. Although my brother-in-law is the only person I know who's actually burned water. He came home from the bar late one night when he was young. He was living with us, in the big city, hanging out with his buds, being crazy and stuff. And he came home from the bar 2:00 in the morning, decided he wanted to make himself some mac and cheese. Took the sauce pot out, put some water in it, put it on the stove to boil, and fell asleep. And I woke up in the middle of the night to my smoke alarm going off. And I had that thought of, oh my gosh, it's happening to me. My house is burning down. And I run out there, and there's no smoke anywhere. I go into the kitchen, and the pot is jumping like it's alive. It's skittering on the burner. Just ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. It's got not an ounce of water in it, but it's so hot, it's literally bouncing. And that was, you ruined the pot, but that's what set off the smoke detector. Doug says it literally took me a year to teach her to cook eggs and sausage for breakfast. And
I have some news for him.
His wife did the same thing with mac and cheese. Oh.
Perhaps she does such an excellent job because she knows he can do such an excellent job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. So we bought one of those camper style grills for the RV, and we kept it after we sold the RV. And she got into grilling sausages, like German style brats and stuff. Oh, she'll get into these kicks. I love them. It's amazing. I come home, there's like 20 different types of sausages grilling smoking up the house and stuff. Oh, it's so good. It's so healthy too. Oh, what was I going to show you guys? So we've been talking, and Doug was talking, we were talking about this. So this dude. Oh, wait, I got to click over here. There we go. So sometimes I try and help people. Hey, Toolhead's in the house. How you doing? Hey, for you guys who don't know, he's got a channel too. Be sure to check it out. He's got some great reviews, a lot of Harbor Freight stuff and DIY and whatnot. But anyway, so I emailed this guy. So for those of you who don't know, I quite often I'm willing, if I got time, to help people try and find some used tools and go through the different listings and stuff and try to see what's out there that's available. In fact, I did that video a while back talking about all the ridiculous ridiculous prices people were asking for table saws on Craigslist. But as bad as the people are with table saws, people with bandsaws are, I don't know what they're smoking. They have lost their minds. I'll see 20-year-old jet table or bandsaws that people are asking, $1,000 for. So anyway, Doug had mentioned he was looking for one. I asked him what part of the country he was in. So I went and looked on Craigslist, and I saw this one because he was asking about the Harbor Freight bandsaw. And this is the Harbor Freight bandsaw. It's the same one. And currently, the Harbor Freight bandsaw they used to be $400, and they've brought it down to $375. And because it's a Chicago Electric, you can... hold on. It's cold. Aren't you down in Arizona? You're not in Flagstaff, are you? I heard they got 7 inches. So it's down to $375 as the base price, and because it's a Chicago Electric, you can use those 25% off super coupons on it. And there's a parking lot sale coming up next month, so we can count on there being a 25% off super coupon. That means you could get this saw here for $275. Now, I was saying that this is this saw is 2 generations behind the times. And when I say that, this is what I mean. So we'll go to Grizzly.com, who I think by far makes the best bandsaw for the money. If you're going to buy a bandsaw, Grizzly's the way to go. So... let's see here. Woodworking machines, bandsaws. And so if we look at this as the 3 generations, 2 generations beyond current, I often call these
a 4-knob saw, and that's because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the easiest way to identify this saw. What I don't like about this saw is the motor that comes with it is underpowered. It really is. It's not terrible, but it's not that great. It's got these lids here. You have to open these more than you would think on a bandsaw because they're constantly needing to get adjusted and dusted out and stuff. Well, you have to take both of these bolts clean off and then take the whole thing off. And the dust port is down here at the back. So you got this wheel down here. And the bandsaw comes down, goes up, and goes up through here. So the dust comes down, and the dust wants to collect in here. But they got their dust port over here. Also, the cutting blade on the saw is right here, which means you are standing in front of the dust collection. So you're going to have the dust come out, go into a 90-degree elbow, and go up to something else, and it's in your way. The stand, the base is actually a lot better than a lot of the stands that you see out there. This right here, this is just cardboard. That's not actually metal. But you could replace that with a piece of like 3/4 inch plywood, paint it black if you want, or gray to match, put it in there, and that will add some real rigidity, some sound dampening, and that will really help the saw. But the other half of it is the wheels in here are aluminum. The guides on here are not the latest guides. This bar here system is just a straight clamp on it, and it doesn't have a tension release knob on the back like most saws of this style do. So anyway, that's what I don't like about these 4-knob system saws. Was it Doug says here, look, if you're looking for something outside of 14 inches, I think it might be best to get that Rikon I sent last night, or something with more than 6 inches. Yeah, 281.25 is with the coupon. That's the price. Oh, you are in Flagstaff. I am so sorry. Yeah, I heard it. I got family in Prescott, and so they were telling me about what it's like down there and over in Flagstaff. So anyway, sorry I'm jumping around here. We're trying to keep up with the texts. But so I picked up my old saw. If you've seen my video, my bandsaw cutting guide, I had the old. What was it? The Rigid, which is also underpowered. It's a junk saw, but it has there's nothing wrong with the frame of this saw. The wheels are badly balanced. They're very bad. Oh, you're in Phoenix. Okay. Still colder than normal. The tires on the wheels aren't great. Anyway, there's a lot this saw needs to be brought up into modern specs. So the next generation after the 4-knob saw is the 2-knob, which is what we see over here on the basic Grizzly. And as we can see here, this thing's got 2 knobs. And this one doesn't even have knobs. This has got little handles. It's just got a little clamping mechanism, so it snaps closed and you pop it open, kind of like a cabinet door. So you got 1 and 2 rather than the 4, and it's got a hinge back here. And that allows this door to swing open. Now, this, as you can see, the price on this is pretty high, $855. Now, that's the higher end one. They make a less expensive version, which is this one right here, the G0555LX, which I think is the one that I had. And it has, it's a great machine. It's got a mostly enclosed base. Again, you can take a sheet of plywood, bolt it to the inside of that if you want to increase the rigidity of it. It's got an excellent actual Bessemer style fence system. It's not technically Bessemer because it clamps on the other side, but it's a great fence system. It's got a good miter saw. It's got a huge table. The one thing I will say that's the drawback in the saw is the trunnions on this table are not the best. They're really kind of weak. But let's see if they show us inside. So we got quick blade tension release. So when you're not using the saw, it allows you to take the tension off of it, and that helps prevent flat spots in the blade. A rack and pinion guide post, so you can actually crank the guide up and down rather than having to release it, move it, and clamp it in place. The dust port on this is on the back side. Here you can see there's the dust port over there facing the opposite way. It's at the front of the wheel rather than at the back of the wheel. The wheel isn't direct drive. It comes off of a gear with a belt system. It makes this smoother. These wheels are cast iron rather than aluminum. They're perfectly balanced. I could not believe how smooth, buttery smooth this thing is. This is, the best that I think you can probably buy right now for the money. And then you have the current generation, which they also sell one, and that's where you get these. You can tell because they got this kind of trapezoidal setup here. You can see it on this one here. You can also see it on the new. This is the one I have not gotten my hands on, but I really want to. The new Wind bandsaw, the 14-inch. So it's got the same kind of trapezoidal setup. There's nothing beneficial about it. It's still the same thing under the cover, but you can see like most of the current systems they're all using that same kind of setup. Now this does not have the cast iron wheels. It's got aluminum wheels. It is cheaper. It looks like it has a better trunnion system, to be honest. But you got the dust collection at the front, good size wheels. You got the same kind of belt delivery system for power. You've got a little window here so you can look through and see the tracking on the blade itself, which is excellent. You've got a quick tension release. You got the motor here built into the body. Now, because this is all steel, not cast iron and stuff the way the other ones are, I hear they're not as rigid. But for the money, for a new bandsaw, you're going to be hard pressed to find something that has all the features. It's got roller guide blocks. It's, a built-in work light. Dust collection tray for the bigger chips and stuff. Look at the tilt on that table. Nice table with 2 miter slots in it. Yeah, I would love to get my paws on this saw. It looks like it has a ton of potential. And right now you see it at $468. But I have seen this a couple times during the year at like $404. They don't carry it in store. You have to order it with free shipping to store. And one of the downsides to this over the Grizzly is that when you buy it, this is a 14-inch saw. But with the Grizzly, you can get let's see here. Grizzly. I know you know this, Doug, but this is really for everyone else. We got a 14-inch bandsaw with riser. You can get a riser block on, and this will work on pretty much any of these saws that have this kind of frame. I've even seen people make their own riser blocks. As you see, that's the orange part here. This is one of the rigid saws, and they've put the riser block in it. There's a Delta with a riser block. So that's the base one. That's with the riser block. And they go from a 14-inch to an 18-inch, I think it is. And look at the resaw cut capacity you got in that. It's massive. But the thing is, when you buy the kit, here's the kit. It comes with the riser block. It comes with the what do you call it? The channel protector for the blade. It comes with the pinion arm and the blade cover for the front and a new blade. Because you're going to need all of those pieces, because if you just put a riser block in it, the guide arm isn't going to come down low enough to properly support the blade. But different companies sell them, and they're almost all, not you. And you can see different size riser blocks, but almost everyone uses the 4-inch riser. There's a Grizzly with the riser in it. Also, if you do get one of this style saw and you go to put the riser block in it, I recommend doing it with 2 people, because this thing is cast iron. It's heavy as all hell, and it's really unwieldy. And I did it by myself, and in looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have. It's definitely, better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, you go from a 14-inch wheel. Sorry, it's the wheel. You're right. It's the wheel size to from a 6-inch to a 12-inch with the riser block. Oh. Jeremy Huff, damn it, we didn't get snow here, but you got it in Vegas. Where are you? Oh, Jay's Custom Creations. There's him putting his riser block on his saw. But yeah, let's do Craigslist here. So you gotta make sure when you do searching on Craigslist, the first search I always do is I do bandsaw as one word, because you never know how someone's gonna type it in. And then you do bandsaw as 2 words. There's a Laguna for $900. Let's do include nearby areas. Or you just do this, I guess. So what do we got here? 89128 and wait. Oh, got it backwards. This is 200. 89128. So it'll search a radius. I only want owners who have images, bundle duplicates. There we go. And there's 8. All right. Let's see if we do this. And we got 17. There's another style. That's an interesting style, but that's not what I'm looking for. As you can see, we don't have not a whole lot of options. Sadness. All right. Let's put the bandsaws away. There we go. Back to the snow. Found a 20-inch jet bandsaw for $300. It was missing the little extension arm. Wow, that's. I'll put the chat window back up. There we go. That's a bummer. The chat arm, or no, chat, the on some of those older saws, missing some of the components, it can be a real pain trying to find them. And that's kind of the downside, unless you can fabricate something. But I have seen some really big industrial-sized bandsaws going pretty cheap just because people don't want to move them because they're so heavy. So I posted a Shopsmith on there. I like the Shopsmith. I should say I have a love-hate relationship with the Shopsmith. I've had 2 of them. I did a full resto on the first one, and I was going to on the second one, but I just didn't have the time or the space for it. And to be honest, a lot of the accessories that go on it, they're just kind of, they're not great. Like the bandsaw that comes on it, I had the bandsaw. It is something like a 9-inch bandsaw. It just wasn't worth the time. All right, well, I'm getting the eyeball that dinner is ready. And I guess we've been going for an hour and a half. That's probably enough time here. Jerry, I was going to try and flip it and have a good table saw ready. Yeah, don't ever use a Shopsmith as a table saw. The table saw feature on the Shopsmith is really janky. The blade's exposed, unless you get the brand new ones where it has all these add-on. Even then, it's still janky. It's not a great table saw. Yeah, most people do turn it. That's what I ended up doing. Turn it into a stationary drill press, and it's great as that. If you can get a cheap Shopsmith for like under $100, it will outdo pretty much most stationary floor standing drill presses you're gonna find. Oh, all right, everyone. I gotta go get me some dinner here. So you all take care, and as always, shine on.